Go.
Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Tuxedo 101 with another podcast. Random podcast. Today we are talking. Like our first subject is the presidency. One of
Ooh,
you go because my
Wait,
opinion
first
doesn't.
of all, we have me, Otter Woods, Katie Cake, and
Yeah,
Card Slinger.
Oh my goodness, how
heck
could you?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Rude.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot. I am so sorry. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Never be sorry.
It's okay. Katie K. Katie, say hi.
Hello.
Bird Slinger, say hi.
Hey.
And Otterwoods, say hi.
Konnichiwa.
Oh my god.
So, the first subject is the presidency. Like, what do we think? It doesn't matter, like, who's running, just, like, our general idea of it. So,
Definitely we need Donald Trump again. No, just kidding.
uh,
Literally
I
what I
wanna
think
see
about.
I wanna see America go down in
honestly,
flames.
there's no way Donald Trump will get reelected, but I will continue to follow him on Twitter for the shit posting.
I just I like to look at the things where he's like there's no way I'm gonna fail. There's no way.
Oh my god. But he says so many lies that are just like so untrue, and it's so obvious they're not true. It's like, why even tell them in the first place?
Yeah, it's like North Korea wants us all dead. Like what?
Oh man.
I mean, maybe
I-
that's true, but I don't know. Pretty sure we want
I
them
just-
dead. Donald Trump. Ooh.
So
Not we. You.
do you want us to talk about like the presidential candidates or something?
I guess, I mean, you know more about it than I do, then you can go.
Yeah, so far I've only watched the Democratic debates. Oh wait, that's all that's been out right now is the
Yeah.
Democratic debates. But yeah, I watched both of the Democratic debates, and like right now, uh dude, okay. So, right now, the Joe Biden was the front runner in the debates, or like coming into the debates. But after that, I'm really hoping that he no longer is because like he's horrible. Like he sucks. Like nobody
does.
likes him. I've never seen anybody who actually likes Joe Biden because he's just like actually like so I don't know how to describe him. Like,
Like, what did he
he's
do?
like basically nothing.
That's
Like,
exactly what's the problem.
yeah, that the problem is he's just like not capable of doing anything, and he like when it comes to like changing stuff, he's basically just like wants to keep everything the same. It's like, what's the point of electing a new president if we're not going to be changing things, you know? And Elizabeth Warren, though. Okay, I really like Elizabeth Warren. She is like, she is so smart. Like, she's a professor, and she like literally like has a plan for everything. Oh, I think that was her tagline, like last presidency, wasn't it? It was like, Elizabeth Warren has like a plan for everything. It's like not. It's like that's not even just like a slogan. Like she literally has a plan for everything. Like,
Alright. I want to
So-
hear her plan. What's her plan?
So like I think she only really talked about like Medicare, right? And like that's all I remember at least. Like she wants to enact the Medicare for All bill, which would basically take away the private insurance so that public insurance would come in, take over, and that way like nobody could be bought out and everybody would have really nice health insurance, which is like a cool idea. Like the problem But like the problem with health insurance is either you take away the private health insurance and then a bunch of people have like who like their plans, you know, have to switch over, and then who knows how good the public one will actually be in reality. And then there's like the other one where you say, well, we'll keep the private insurance and then have the public insurance. But then you can get away with having really, really bad like public health insurance, which is basically what happened with Obamacare, because it was horrible health insurance because like everybody was just using the private insurance, so I guess I don't know, maybe they felt no need to allocate the money towards it.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders, I like them too. The end.
Yeah, I like them both as well.
I really like Kamala Harris. Like, if I could vote, I'd vote for Kamala Harris. Ow.
I'm sorry.
I like what Pat.
You like what?
Dreams.
What happened?
Did somebody join or leave?
Assassin just joined in the middle of our podcast that we are recording.
Hey, Assassin.
Hi, Assassin.
Hey, what's up?
Oh.
Welcome
We're
to our
talking about the
podcast.
presidents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We'd like to hear your part since you can vote.
Yeah, yeah, did you watch the Democratic debates?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Me neither.
How could you guys?
I know, right?
I didn't watch them either.
I know, literally.
Okay, I did.
I made Cardslinger watch them with me,
Yeah, he
basically,
did,
because he
but
was
I liked
literally,
it, though.
he was in my room, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch the Democratic debates. He's like, okay, and he was just listening to it the whole time, and I kept pausing it, and we would, like, talk about it and stuff.
And eventually I was just like, you know what, I need to fully listen to this, and so I just went and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. There's some pretty funny people. Not trying to be funny, but it was bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Pokemon Go to the polls.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh my
God, I can't remember who it was. It was some, like, dude, right, in one of the
I don't
debates.
know how I hit
Can you
with
stop
that.
attacking me?
I don't know how
Some
I
dude
hit
in the
that
debates,
egg.
right? He was like in his 30s or something, and literally he didn't even say a single point. Just every single time he got to talk, he was just like, I am young. We need to let young people run
Oh
these
my
things."
God.
And I was
That
like,
made
okay,
me
but what's
so
your
mad.
plan? What's your point? Young people. And like, I think it was like the people asking the questions, like, okay, for like the 5th time, like, please answer the question. Young people. It's like, dude, like,
It was-
like, are you real? Are you an actual person, or are you just a robot designed to say the young people?
It was like the young people are what the future is gonna be made of. The young people are the only ones who can make the future, and like stupid stuff like that. I don't remember exactly, so I can't quote. But
Well, I mean, like, he's not wrong. Yeah, the old people die and the young people grow up, but like, he didn't say anything. Like, he just said
enemy.
young people.
He didn't say anything intelligent.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's just an Enderman chilling over here.
Also,
Cards-
Joe Biden was like super chill with like a bunch of racists and was like tolerant of like racial segregation and all this horrible shit. So like, I also wouldn't trust him on that level.
My arm's broken.
So, Cardslinger, what's your opinion?
Honestly, I'm not very good with names, but I do like Bernie Sanders a lot because he makes me laugh. I love his voice. I love his voice, and I'm not saying like I'll vote for him because he makes me laugh. Just like I like what he stands for, and I like who's that other woman?
Kamala Harris or Elizabeth
Yeah.
Warren?
I like both of them as well, so I'm basically on the same page as Otter Woods.
So, KDK88, what's your opinion?
Well, I don't really know too much about this stuff, so
It could just be like a general idea. You don't have to know anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I mean,
It could be like, what is the point of it in our society, or something like that. Yeah, Tech Viper would say something like that.
Okay, well, how about, hold on, I have a prompt, I have a question I think we all can answer, do you think the voting age should be lowered to 16?
I don't think it should. I actually think it'd be better to have a little bit older people because they have a little bit more experience and have a little bit more detail in what they know too. But
Bullshit.
that doesn't mean young people
Just
are
kidding.
stupid or anything. I'm just saying they have more experience and more of a knowledge of what
Right.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, me personally, I think it should stay at 18 because if we're going to consider 18 adults, like,
Hmm.
then you should be able to vote when you are an adult. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think 18 is like a fair age to be considered an adult.
Yeah, me too. The one thing I
Well,
think though is like older people are like they've been taught certain ways for a very long time. Like some are different, but like a lot just believe in the same thing for many years, and so that comes into a lot of play of like who gets voted for, and
yeah, that's the
that kind of bugs
problem.
me.
When you've believed something like for a long time, like it's like, hard to change your ideas. So like old people, still have some like weird beliefs or like just wrong beliefs about certain things because
Yeah.
like that's what they believed. Because like propaganda, like a lot of old people still think like fat is what makes you fat, not sugar. They think like uh crap, my brain farted. But yes, that is an example. you know. Oh, like yeah,
Yeah.
like
No.
things like global warming because there was a huge propaganda campaign when like back in their day to make by all the gas companies so that, nobody would know how much damage they were causing. It's like,
What?
yeah. Yeah, like all the major gas companies, right? When people started getting scared about global warming, which was a really long time ago,
Mhm.
they hired a bunch of scientists to basically just say a bunch of fake stuff and make everyone believe it. And they did, and people believed it, so everybody thought that, like, oh, this stuff is fine. But no, it wasn't. They were just, like, lying to everybody.
Which seems to happen a lot in our government.
Yeah, yeah, tricking people into believing something does happen a lot in the government.
Yeah.
Alright. If this gets any worse, I'm moving to Canada. I'm sorry.
I know,
Snooze
right? I'm
there.
like, I'm just gonna be like, bye guys, Toronto I go.
Canada seems like a nice place to live. I mean, like, I don't mind snow.
Yeah, I mean like, other than cold weather, like, I'm fine. Like,
Ooh.
go to Tim Hortons, have my maple syrup sticks, cause that's a thing, I guess.
Maple syrup sticks.
No, they take maple syrup and they put them in the snow and they like make popsicles.
What? That's a
What?
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck?
Wow, I gotta try that. Oh wait, I live in Arizona. Never
Also,
mind.
also the air in Canada is cleaner, and like, and I guess that's something. So like, they actually have like, the snow is like actually like kind of like safe because they don't have so much pollution. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
Must be nice to live there then. Gosh, them in their unpolluted air.
You dang kids in your unpolluted air back in my day. Um, our air was polluted and we were fine with it. We didn't need all this fancy mumbo jumbo.
right. Yeah,
Hate to break it to you, but I do. And half the people with asthma do.
I know, right? Literally, like, almost died of an asthma attack. Yay.
Yeah. I like what Patton Oswald said about like the presidency. Like after Bush, it feels like we've been casting the presidents.
Yeah. The truth is, ever since presidencies have been televised, we've been casting them. Because it's all about getting the most votes possible, right? And people want to see, like, a show, Like, most people, they don't really know what they're talking about or what to think. So they basically come into it, and then it's every president's job to, like, basically convince them of certain things. And so they don't and like the best way to do that isn't like using like facts and like logic and stuff like that, but instead is to just like propaganda, you know. That's
Oh
why
yeah.
like advertisement is like the biggest thing, you know, to like get elected, because it's just like propaganda, you know.
Yeah. I have a strong feeling that Trump may get elected again.
He
I
has
don't know. There's no
hold
way.
on. He's had one of the lowest approval rates in like like all of history. Literally, like, well, no, there was a few people who were a lot worse, but that's way back. But in recent years, he has been the least approved of president. He has approval rating right now of I think like 33%, and the highest his approval rating has ever been was 47%. Like, that's insanely low for the highest approval rating. Most presidents got up past like 56% approval rating, but Trump has never even gotten to 50% approval rating. When people voted, he only got 49% of the votes. Like,
Yeah, no,
when it
he's
comes,
he's not going back in. There's
Hey,
no
hey,
way.
hey, 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 hey. It's okay. They don't actually vote for the president, so we're fine.
well, yeah, but like, you know, it really comes down to the electoral college, but.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Ooh. If I could, the one thing I hate is like the electoral college. Like I heard it was like the electoral college was put there on purpose by the founding fathers so that the mob wouldn't rule. And I'm like, wait, so to make the majority of the people's wishes sound bad, you have to call them a mob? Like, really? Like, if the majority of the people want this person, like elect this person, it shouldn't be like some rich elite people sitting up in like the electoral college being like, well, the people want this, but fuck the people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, if elected somebody bad and someone like called a hearing to do a revote, I think they would revote if they think that the person was doing a horrible job.
Well, you can't really. Once the person's
Yeah.
elected, they're elected. There's no going back unless they resign or get like super impeached.
Yeah, they get impeached. That's like the only way we
Yeah.
can get them out.
I mean like that. Like there are systems to like make sure stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, they didn't use it for Donald Trump, so I don't know if they're really in that much
Yeah,
use.
literally though, it's like so stupid. It's like if the electoral college was gone, we wouldn't have to deal with all the stupid districts anymore, and it wouldn't be like one vote in California. It's like something like 20 votes in California is worth one vote in Wyoming. Like
Jesus.
that's not fair. You're saying that one person in Wyoming is worth 20 times more than a person in California. Like that's not okay.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Parents were basically saying like Trump, he's a person like um the founding fathers didn't want the president to be like a person who's like
Pussy.
Political?
like to
Correct.
be hailed above all.
Oh. Hasn't Trump been like the most like by his like small avid supporters been hailed to be like above all by them?
Yeah,
Oh.
like that is. He literally says the exact opposite of everything he does, like every time.
Oh my god, yeah, he's like, where's our wall, by the way? Like, he did a government shutdown to get that wall. We still don't have it. Like, I mean, I don't want a wall, but like, I think it just goes to show how reliable he is.
Yeah, no.
Back. So what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, voting shouldn't be determined on age.
Oh, do you think it should be like property?
No, what do you mean by property?
Well,
or knowledge?
a lot of people think that the only way you should be able to vote is if you're paying like a state tax.
Oh, that's whack.
Yeah, it is.
No, no, I don't believe that. I believe you should be a U.S. citizen, of course, but it should be on competency. Do you know how many people vote or how many people voted just because Obama was black?
Yeah.
I don't think people
What the?
should vote just
What is
because.
that thing?
I think people should
Sorry.
vote based on knowing all the issues and which candidate is for each issue, and you know what you're voting for rather than just voting because a person is black or you like the way they look or the way they talk or whatever. I think it should be based off of um, non-biased, objective um,
Yeah,
reasoning of
but
what you think
but like
of.
human beings aren't non-biased and they're not always objective. Like, and really, I imagine the only way you could make voters more informed possibly is like to teach politics in schools.
Right, exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
think that's
this.
a good idea. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we should definitely like be teaching in schools, but instead we're just like teaching
And how
random
you know
shit.
if somebody is confident and objective toward and not biased is you do reading comprehension tests.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're biased towards something, you normally block out the other person's view, or you block out something in your head about
Yeah.
that other person's viewpoint on that issue, right?
Yeah.
So if you do a reading comprehensions test and you make them see the other side before they give an opinion,
Mm-hmm.
then they have to think objectively rather than them being biased towards the issue. You know?
Right, yeah, I know about the Harvard study where they show a word and a picture, right? And you
Mhm.
have to like match it up like correctly, right? And they
Yeah.
did it with a lot of things like white people and black people, men and women, this and that, and basically you will unconsciously pick the one that you're biased towards,
Right.
right?
Right.
And they were like I did the race one and it was something like some like 90% of people have like between a minor and strong bias like towards white people, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, I think I took that test too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I
But
think.
yeah.
So it shouldn't be, dependent on age. It should be on
Well, yeah,
comprehension of the issues.
but I mean like at the same time like yeah, you would have to like implement some test to
Right.
like let people vote, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it on age, um, the human brain does not develop until 25 to 30 years old.
Right.
So if you're gonna do it on that, then you should do it on 30 years old. You shouldn't be able to vote until you're 30 years old because your brain's not fully developed.
Well, yeah, you're not allowed to
If
be
you want
president until you're 35, so.
to talk about drinking, in Europe, some countries they let their kids drink at 16, and
16,
in
yeah.
America, it's 21.
Right.
So I don't think it should be age necessarily. You know what I mean?
Well,
It should
actually,
be more
21 is
on.
like, I think they did that because that's when you're gonna get like least amount of brain damage. It was something like if you start drinking before the age of 21 versus like after 21, like your chances of becoming an alcoholic are much lower.
Well, yeah, right. But my point is that it shouldn't be off of age. You know what I mean? It should be more
Yeah.
towards.
But at the same time, you have to let like every citizen vote like at the same time because like
Right.
because you can't really take that right away from them because then you would be in like a
Well, you're taking it away from people younger than 18.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Yeah,
true.
but
Because it would work. I think it would work best like if maybe like everyone takes the test, right? But then
Uh-huh.
if you're under the age of 18 and you do well enough on the test, you can vote. Like that makes sense.
Right. So if
Yeah.
you're under 18 and you do very well on the test, then you can vote. Right. Exactly.
I guessed my way through it.
So
Because when I went to college, and I took a placement test in a community college,
yeah.
I got college level math and English and science, and my reading comprehension was really low,
Really?
and so yeah, so then I had to take those classes to like understand. Yeah, when I was younger, whenever I would read something, I wouldn't like take it in and like understand it. I had to have somebody read it to me and I listen to it in order to like understand um, what was in the book or whatever was being said.
Right.
I couldn't just read it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's just yeah. I think it's reading comprehension tests should be implemented.
Then like, but everyone has like a different style of learning,
Right.
So like
But
I
they
guess
could
that's
implement those in schools, the
yeah, I'm
different styles of
thinking
learning.
like schools are probably just like the hardest system that we have like to deal with because we are so low on like on our schooling compared to like every other country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like we seriously need to do something about it, but it seems like nobody really cares. It's just more about like adding money to the schools, and it's like yeah, that will help, but you actually need to change them so they start working because like look at all the schools that are successful and just like try to copy them. Like I think that would be best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's like South Korea. I would die if we had South Korea's like school system.
Now, are you talking about there's two South Korean school systems, and one
Really?
of them seems to be working really good, and the other is really bad.
Stressful.
So which one are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about the one where like the kids go in at like 6 a.m. and don't leave till like at
Right.
like
Yeah.
midnight. Like
Wow.
that sounds like torture.
Yeah. But there's another school system where they go to like it's out in the country, and there's more like hands-on, and they
Yeah.
seem to be enjoying learning and everything. The kids to enjoy what they're doing, and they're actually learning. You know,
Yeah.
but the school system here is just terrible.
It's
Yeah.
crap.
It needs to be changed.
It does.
Like here's the first step to do: eliminate private schools.
Yeah, that's what they did in was it Sweden, I think? Because they have super, super high ratings in schools. And they did that by lowering the school day, I think, to 3 hours and eliminating private schools. So basically, when they did that, all the rich people had to send their kids to the same school as the poor people. So they put a bunch of money into the schools so that way they'd be nice. And they didn't have to use so much of the government's money as they did just like donations from parents wanting nice schools.
Mm.
So basically it made it so everybody could go to like a top-notch nice school. They also got rid of homework. So like
Wow.
yeah,
What?
they do so little work compared to the American schools, and they have
What?
so much better grades.
I say we should do that.
I know, right? You can right-click the berries to harvest them.
What? Oh, what?
Yeah.
You're talking about
Well,
getting rid of
whoops.
private schools?
Yeah. When you get rid of private schools, like, everything gets better.
I don't know. I'd have to
Yeah.
agree with you on that.
Well, it's like, to be fair, private schools are just, like, a mess, like, in general, because, what they do is, like, they are, like, allowed to basically teach, like, any curriculum that they want. So there's a lot of private schools that are just, like, really, really bad. Like, at very least, they need more regulation. It's like they're required to teach like math and English, and then they can do whatever they want. They could teach you how to like, you could literally go to a private school, and it's like literally just like cake eating private school, and like as long as you learn like math and English, boom, there's your diploma.
Hmm. I've heard
Sounds like
some
fun.
private schools are better than public.
Oh yeah, because
To
they
be
have
honest,
more money, but
I think that the government should just get out of schooling altogether.
I don't. Like, we made the illiteracy rate go from like 60% to 1%. Like, everybody can read now because schools are free, and you know, like,
Yeah, but that was during the year like way back when and now, right?
What?
mm,
That was
yeah,
back in like the early 1900s, right? When the
right,
government got involved in schools.
yeah.
Yeah, well, now you can get information going on the computer. You know,
Well,
people
you can't use
are
a
more
computer if you
illiterate
can't
now.
read.
Yeah,
Also,
that's
not to mention that schools are just like a way for like kids to go and like socialize and like start becoming like members of society, and it's also functions as like a daycare for working parents. Like,
yeah,
school
no,
days should definitely be shortened, but there's a lot of benefits for public schools that like I feel like you'd be losing too much if you just got rid of them.
yeah, everyone would
But
have
I'm
too much
saying,
like social anxiety, and like no one would be able to like handle certain jobs because of it, because they've
Yeah, not
never
to
really
mention just like
associated with
when you
people.
go to school, you are learning how to deal with difficult people because literally the genius kids and the dumb kids get put in the same classroom, and you have to learn how to like exist together, you know?
Yeah, man, I
well,
hate being in the same
trying,
class with the genius kids.
what I'm trying to say is that the access back in the 1900s, early 1900s, was way lower than it is now. The access to information and learning stuff
Yeah.
is way higher.
Yeah.
So saying that the illiteracy has gone up, that's because way back in the 1900s, they didn't have access to all the stuff we do now. That's why the literacy has gone up. It's not because of public schools, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, here's the thing. If you learn how to read at the age of 5 years old in kindergarten, you know,
Right.
and if the schools didn't teach you, how many parents, right, would teach you? Because there's a lot of deadbeat parents out there who I know would not teach their kids how to read.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me
Like,
too. I know that.
I'm just thinking about like the poorest people and like the people who are like in the worst situations. They need like the public schools.
Yeah, and what if their parents like work all day as well, both of them, just to make their just to make enough to put food on the table? Like they won't be able to have time to really teach their kids. They're going to be worn out. They've got to worry about their bills and everything else.
Mhm.
So we need people to teach us things. Like our
Yeah,
society would fall apart
and
without it, I
not to
think.
mention if you had public schools that were super nice, say all the public schools were as good as like the best private schools, we would have a society of really smart people, and that is like only beneficial, you know? Like,
Right. I think you guys got me wrong. I'm not saying doing away with public schools. I'm saying do away with government getting involved with those public schools. I think it should be more state governed or um, what is it called? Um, county governed instead of government
Hmm. All
governed.
right.
Right.
well,
I'm not
yeah.
saying doing away with schools. I'm just saying the people that run them are doing a terrible job right now.
Well, that's the thing though. Schools are run state by state, and if you look at it, it's like Arizona and Hawaii have horrible, terrible schools and so many dropouts, versus New York, which has the best, where like almost everyone graduates. You know, it's like
Yeah.
If it's like if it's down to these individuals, which it is, and everything turns out crappy for a lot of people, I think it's better to have the federal government come down and like basically make those schools better. Like I think that if a state is running their schools well, like New York, sure, let them keep going. But then if a state is doing bad, I think the federal government should have some play in trying to fix that.
Mm, yeah, I don't think
Well, it just got super awkward now.
so.
Maybe we should just have a long pause there.
That wasn't really awkward, just pause.
Yeah.
Gold! I found gold.
Yay.
I'm rich.
Citizen, what are you doing here? Did you ask permission for those berries?
Can I have these berries? I'll put them back.
What?
Just can I have them?
No.
Okay, sure,
No.
but you must step in them. Step in the
All
berries.
right, give us
Okay.
4 gold. Give us 4 gold.
What's your opinion on this, Kitty Cake?
On what? I was kind of busy.
We can change the
Should
subject,
they
but-
be in schools or not?
On who should be in school? What?
Should the federal government like do stuff about schools, or should it be down to the states?
I don't know anything about politics and stuff.
Yay, there we go. Somebody who doesn't try to just say a bunch of random stuff to try to, be in. I love your integrity, Kitty Cake. You are amazing and the best person that exists.
Well, the
I
thing is,
hope
like,
so.
Okay, then Kitty Cake, can you change the subject to something else? It's kind of run its course.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm gonna
I
post
got something to
something.
like, yeah, I've got something as well. Just like with, I think, yeah, what Otter Woods was saying with like the whole government, if we're like county run or whatever, the problem would be like I'm blanking right now, but I had it in my head.
Like one county just being so much
Yeah,
better
being
than
terrible.
another.
So like if we have just a bad, if we just have bad representatives in our state and such like that, like we could be so much worse than like everywhere else, and that's how it seems to be working. And like I feel like we need to have like a goal set or something if we're trying to actually become like if we're actually trying to be good and be smart.
Oh my
Gosh. So like that's all I had to say. Like I just wanted to agree with Otter Woods there.
I think Assassin was about to say something before you cut him off. What were you about to say?
Well, I posted a video from YouTube on having to do with schools. Like I'm no expert on it, but I have listened to experts on the subject, and I just have to disagree.
Well,
So
wait,
I did post a video on my Discord channel.
I can't really watch it right now, but like,
Yeah.
can you like TLDR like what is happening
Yeah.
in their schools?
No, I was just. I can't remember everything that he says. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You'll have to watch it.
But yeah, it's like, I think the European countries, right? They have like really good schools. Like I think we should try to be like doing their thing, especially like with they like it's really cool. I don't know about in Belgium, they you go to like, oh my goodness, creeper. In Belgium, you go to school, right? And once you get to high school, you then pick like all your classes, right? You pick the classes yourself, and you pick them for like the future you want and the college you want, and and then basically once you say like I'm gonna go to this college, like I want to go to one of these types of colleges, like all that you going to that college all like just relies on your grades, you know. It's like not about how much money you can pay or whatever. Like, you know, like a lot of rich people will just bribe schools and get their kids who don't have good grades into super nice schools, and that's just like not fair, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I think state colleges should be free, like tuition free, not free. Because like, come on, they're there for like by the state, like they're supposed to be for the community. Why aren't they free? It's like they're a lot cheaper if you consider, you know, $50,000 cheap.
So would you consider the school system like there needs to be some correction?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think everybody agrees that something needs to be done about the schools.
I also think
Like,
Go ahead.
you know, like all the colleges even being so expensive in the first place, was just a really bad screw up that I think happened in the either 60s or 70s, where they said, the government said, we will pay for your college, and everyone was like, okay, and there was no restrictions to what the colleges themselves could charge, right? So like it was like $1,000 to go to Yale, right? And now it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Yale, and that's not even like because of inflation rates or anything. That's just because the government at that time said, hey, we'll pay for it. So then Yale was like, okay, we'll just take all the government's money. All the colleges are like, okay, we'll just take the government's money then, and jacked up the prices a ton, and then the prices never went back down, like, which is just sad, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Katie Cake was about to say something. Were you or no?
yeah, it was a little bit different.
Okay, just say it.
I was saying the way how the teachers teach could be also fixed.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
how it's brought to the students, because many students learn in different ways, and I also think it should be in smaller groups for classes, because there's so many kids for this one teacher. How can you teach all of this?
Right,
all
and
this
then that's
stuff?
where you also have like the genius kid and the dumb kid in the same class, because it's like they all need attention, you know, and it's hard to deal with like such a mixed bag, you know. Like
Yeah.
I think if there was some sort of way to like tell what kids needed what, and then like assigning them accordingly, like everything would be better for everybody.
Well, I thought that's why they had like honor roll and stuff like that.
I've always been on honor roll, like my whole life, and all that happens is you get the what's it called, where it's like the elite like classes or whatever. What's it called? I can't remember. Well, basically, all it is it's just homework. They just give you homework. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything.
Right.
You're not learning anything new. You're not even learning anything harder. You're just doing extra homework.
Yeah,
Extra
but they
homework,
separate
pat on the
us.
back.
Well, yeah,
At my school?
you get separated, which is like cool. So you're telling me I have to do extra homework, and I can't hang out with my friends or help my friends.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like lots of times when I finish my work, right? If it's something I know, I'll then go over and I'll help my friends, because like I can, but I can't do that if I'm stuck in a separate class because you're on like, oh, I'm on a roll. It's like,
Yeah,
I
that
got-
honestly does piss me off when like I can't see other friends because they're in honor roll and stuff.
I only got into honor roll once, and that was for English.
the honor roll is when you get a B or more in every single class for an entire
And what
year.
I get in?
Maybe it was just they did
No.
it for just like that one class or something.
No, yeah, you can do it. Different schools do it like that. My school does it like that as well. So you'll have like a couple classes. You can be in like the honor class for that, but you won't be in it for a different class. And I had that going for me as well until I realized that honor roll is stupid and I shouldn't even be in it. And it was just extra work, and I wasn't like learning anything more. And so I just got my grade bad. I made my grade to a C, got switched to the other class, and then I got my grade back up to a B at the end of the year.
Oh man, that reminds me though, something I cannot stand is when the teachers are like straight up mean about kids not like doing well, where it's like the class averaged like a 63%. I'm so disappointed in you all, and like literally it's not just like starts berating the class. It's like, don't you think if they could have gotten like a better grade, they would have? Like maybe this is your fault. You know? Like, and I would always like feel so bad even when I didn't get bad grades. Like I would still feel bad because everybody else was getting yelled at. And then also, not to mention, you could basically be hated if you did well when everyone did bad, because then the teacher would come over to you and like start talking to you and start congratulating you right after calling like the rest of the class pathetic losers, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, that happened all the time.
Yeah, literally, like every time like that happened to me, like everyone would be like looking at me weird, you know?
Yeah, they're like, die.
I've
Yeah.
always just got separated from my class, and they just expected me to learn on my own.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this class is gonna help you. You know, they would stuck me with the special ed kids. I'm like, what? So do you think I'm special ed? Like there's nothing wrong with me or anything. I'm just a little bit behind. Can you catch me up? They just put me on the same thing over and over, and I didn't really learn anything except for the
Right?
same thing I was learning.
Yeah. It's
And I
like,
was always embarrassed to go in that class because I knew people were judging me. It's like, oh crap! So I always had to wait like right before the bell rang and then sneak in there.
yeah, I think it's stupid that like the best way is to actually just get a tutor, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, why can't the teachers teach you? Why do you have to pay extra money so you can get a tutor?
Yeah.
I mean, I was lucky enough for teachers who could help me, but didn't get help. I feel sorry for.
Yeah, because yeah, I go to the same school as you did, and it's like there's tutors there,
Right.
which is super nice, but like lots of times, you just are not able to get a tutor because there's so many kids and there's like 3 tutors, and it's like, so if you want a tutor, you gotta like go outside the school and like like pay for a tutor.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
talking about in middle school. Like I was
Oh,
lucky enough to have teachers who could help me. But I didn't really have any problems in high school. I just in the first year I didn't really have any courage to ask anybody because I was like, yeah, sure. So I got bad grades.
right.
Mm. I remember I'll be like in a
After a
classroom
while,
full of
I
like
built up
over
courage.
20 kids, like almost
Oh yeah,
30.
I was
And
in a
just one teacher.
classroom of 32 kids. No, it was like 35 kids, one teacher, and it was like constantly loud because
Yeah.
the teacher can't control that many people.
I had the same thing, and I remember like I'll be so bored. Like, okay, she's not teaching me anything. Like, because I would be taken out of this class and thrown in with this other class with 30 kids. Like, okay, this teacher's gonna help you with these other 30 kids. What?
Right?
How am I
And
supposed to learn?
I know, like, like my middle school, they would just take kids, right, that needed help. I think this is like a kind of a good idea, they would take the kids who needed help and then put them all at a table, and then
Mhm.
the teacher would say, do your work, and then help everybody at that table, and literally stayed at that table the whole
Yeah.
time.
That's
Yeah.
like their only purpose was just to sit at that table and to help the kids who are slacking behind. And if they're in a certain grade level, they would help them, in that specialty
Right?
instead of putting them in a special ed class
Right? Well, I
or
think
some random class.
it's like Title One, isn't it? Where if like you're behind, then they give you like special help.
Title One.
Like you stay in the same classroom as everybody else, but the teacher like sits back with you and like helps you.
Nope,
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't get that.
Too bad. Wow.
I remember
Yeah.
some fun times though. Like I would be the background of the class, and I got all this paper, and I decided like, oh, I'm gonna write a Peter Pan play. So I wrote the scripts for everybody in the classroom, and I started getting paper, and I start sticking it on like some random kids. Like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, you're gonna be Peter Pan. Like, oh, okay. And I gave them the script. And I'm all dressing them up with paper, and it looked pretty snazzy. I did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like by the time like the whole class was dressed up in these paper costumes, head to toe,
Right.
it was so funny. And then
Yeah.
we started to get the Lost Boys, and all the boys started making like the weapons. And then the teacher caught on like, wait, you're making weapons? What are you doing with these paper swords?
I think
like,
actually
ow.
though the only really good thing about having big classes is when you finish your work, you can literally just hop on your phone and nobody will notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I totally just screwed around through the whole time
Yeah.
in that class.
In my second year, I was usually done with my stuff before anybody else, so I'd just draw.
Yeah, well, like yeah, every time like I'll be finished and I'll either get extra work so I can, like be going faster, or I'll just chill on my phone. 'Cause like, hey, win-win.
But there were times where I thought the school rules were dumb. Like you couldn't play your video game system at lunch, and I was just like, why? It's lunch. Everybody's literally talking, and some people aren't even eating. So what's the point?
Right. Yeah. I hated like dumb weird rules like that. But yeah. To be fair though, like I guess if you brought like maybe like a 3DS and like you hid that, you could possibly play that, but
Yeah, I mean, rules get less and less strict every like time you go up in a grade.
Or you just take a little hand pocket Game Boy.
nah, I think the phone is still like the best because you can play games on your phone, you can go on social media, and you can talk to people. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I brought my 3DS to the lunchroom, and the vice principal came up. Are you supposed to have that? It's lunchtime. Oh, why? I forgot the reason, but it was like super dumb, and I had to pick it up after school.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, like that sucks. At my school though, they let us listen to music like during class, which is like actually so amazing because I get so much more work done when I'm listening to music instead of
Right?
like, just like trying to do it like straight up,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
assassin have any school memories?
Me? Oh, no, not really, because I didn't go.
Yeah, you were homeschooled the whole time, right?
Well, I went to 2 different schools.
Oh.
For each time, I went for about a month,
Huh.
Hmm.
and they were interesting learning experiences.
Right. Did you not like them, or did your mom not like them?
No. Well, I don't think my mom wanted to take me, is what the problem was.
Uh, yeah. Like, I think homeschooling is cool, it's fine and whatever, but like, as long as like the parents like do a good enough job.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like you miss out on a lot homeschooling as well, though.
I
You at
mean,
least have to get the social stuff
Yeah.
in there, because if you
yeah,
don't
you
take your kids to social functions, yeah, it's bad.
yeah, my whole like I don't know. I feel like because of the internet, I got really lucky in like the sense that I was homeschooled for a little while, but I still had like legitimate friends, you know, because I could get on Discord and talk to them, and we would like meet online and we would do stuff together.
Yeah.
Which like you don't get like the bonuses of being able to like go places together or like do certain things, but like you at least have like friends you can talk to.
It's totally different though, being in person.
Yeah,
Because a lot of the human interaction is like body language and getting to know people,
right. But
and
like
and you can only know somebody so much over over the internet.
yeah, but I mean like, it's like it's not like when like nowadays when you're homeschooled, it's not like you're literally stuck in a room never being able to talk to anyone outside of your already friends and family, you know.
Yeah, well,
'Cause-
my sister has that problem though. Like, because if you have parents like mine, they're like, "Oh, gotta keep the internet restricted and all this." So like, she has an iPad and stuff, but she like doesn't have like the internet unlocked. And she doesn't have like a computer she can go on to talk to anyone. And like, since she's not in school and since she's so young, she doesn't really have any like friends outside of like church family. So, like she's like has no interaction except for like my one cousin who comes over all the time. So, and I'm noticing that that's like taking a big toll on it because she's not very like she's uh not very good with people and like the sense of talking and like not very good at conversations, and it's
yeah.
also like a family problem we have, but like she would be better if she was in school, and like because she knows that she's not that good at talking to people, she's like afraid to go to school and go out in public and stuff, and it's like it's taking a bad toll and like a turn.
Yep,
Yeah.
I know somebody just like that, or used to be.
I used to be just like that.
Yeah.
It's like, because the worse you are at like social interaction, the less you want to be around people, and then the worse you get at it even more.
Yeah.
It's just like a terrible cycle.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah.
It's Kate.
Uh, so,
Our topic turned a big turn, huh? Took a big turn.
Yeah.
who wants to change the subject to something? It can be anything.
I've had this in my mind. Okay. Cats versus dogs, right? Okay. Uh, which one is better?
Dogs.
Cats. You have to pick, Rachel.
Ah! I have to choose.
Well, I pick both. I don't care if I have to pick one or the other. I pick both.
That's a cop out.
I don't care.
God, I love dogs way too much. I've grown up with dogs for way too long. Dogs are like,
I've never had a cat, but I
Me
still like
neither.
cats more.
Yeah.
I mean, I love cats too, but like if I had to take one to like have by my side and just have to have an animal, definitely dog.
Oh
I
yeah,
would-
like I love dogs still, but like if I had to choose one, cat.
Like Ginger, she's just the beautifulest puppy ever.
Oh,
I
she
think it
Love
depends on the
is.
Ginger.
situation.
She's a good
What?
dog. And
What'd you
like,
say, Assassin?
like
I think it depends on the situation. If you're lonely, right, you should
Cat.
pick a dog
What?
because
No.
unless you're gonna keep the cat inside like 24/7
That's what
and
you're supposed to do.
not let him outside, then you can pick a cat too. But dogs are always right there, ready to be pet, and cats like to go off on their own
Yeah, that's
and
the thing.
do their own thing. You know what I
It's
mean?
always down like to like the specific animal. Like when it comes to cats, like dogs are generally like I haven't met a dog that isn't like loyal and like likes people. But
yeah,
like
they're very loyal.
with cats, some of them like are obsessed with getting pet and they just love being pet and like they're always around people. And some of them they hate getting pet. They hate people. They want to kill them. It's like it like cats are much more temperamental.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
and that's like the only thing is like I feel like dogs have a more are better at understanding emotion with a person as well.
Right. They tend
And
to
so like
imprint on the person.
yeah, so
They were kind of bred to.
Yeah, they were.
so that's why like I feel like emotionally like where I'm at and everything, I definitely like a dog more.
This
when
is like just me though, but like I really really appreciate it if I did something like that my pet could just hate me. Cuz like cuz like for me no like cuz if I feel like if I was like if I started beating my dog would still love me. If I started beating my cat would stop loving me. And like I don't know, there's
Yeah.
just something real about that to me.
Well, I feel like your dog would eventually be terrified of you
Well,
because like
yeah.
dogs get like that.
But I knew like a bunch of dogs that like they were in a really really bad like situation where they're getting hit and beat and hardly fed.
Watch
They
out, watch
still,
out.
I see it. But they were still like they still really loved their owners and like would still like run up to them like terrified, but like still run up to them hoping to get like some love.
Yeah.
If I were beating my dog, I'd want my dog to like straight up like bite me. Like I don't like, I feel like it's like more genuine to me when if I did something.
Well, like I feel like Ginger's too afraid to bite. If you were to like for sure beat my dog, she would definitely attack you.
Yeah, but I mean
Yeah.
like if your mom were to beat your dog, would she?
It also
Yeah, she'd
depends
get
on the
mad.
personality and the type of breed of dog on top of that.
You know what? That's true.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff like Shiba Inus or a lot of little dogs where it's like they will act like that, but then people don't end up liking them because they say they're not friendly enough. But it's like, come on, they just have more of a brain. Leave them alone.
If it were like a sad situation, I'd pick a dog because I would just want something big to hug and pet, not a little cat.
Well, if that's the case, I'd rather get a grizzly bear.
Not that
I mean,
big.
if I'm gonna get a cat, it's definitely gonna be a tiger or something. I mean, I know it'll probably turn on me eventually, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like that's actually something crazy. I watched this was a show on Netflix, right? I think it's not there anymore. But it was this whole thing about stories where it was like people who had like big cats, right? And they were like in their family for a long time and then the big cat would like kill somebody, right? And so the trend was the big cats would always act like really nice and really sweet and all loving, but when they ran out of food, the big cat would kill them. And like that's just like how that kind of like works, with them. It's
Yeah.
like, wild. But
That's kind of funny.
it's so sad.
It's like, imagine you're on a tropical island, you're abandoned with your pet cat. It's like, oh no, we have no food. we gotta take some
Well,
down.
actually, when it comes to like small cats though, they like actually care about you and stuff. Like they will try to bring you food, they'll try to hunt for you, they try to like take care of you. Like they basically think you're a cat that's really bad at being a cat, and it's like, wow, gotta take care of this thing. And like cats think of you like in like reverse roles, right? Where it's like you think of the cat as the pet, the cat thinks of you as the pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I like cats, I like both breeds, and it's really hard to pick. But I would have to say I would have to go with the dog. I I don't know. Each time I see a dog, I just I just feel really happy and just it's really satisfying.
That's how I feel when I see cats.
No, I
Like-
feel both ways, but I feel like a dog would connect to me emotionally better.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like that. Like it depends on the dog breed how happy I am. Like if I see a corgi, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Oh my
Yes,
god, I love
I
corgis.
definitely want a corgi.
But if it's just like I don't know, like like a regular dog, like
Look
I'm like,
at it.
cool. I'm like cute, a dog. But when I see a cat, I'm like, oh my goodness, you precious little meow meow. I love
Well,
you. Like
Cats are like so
Just
much
start
more
scratching
unique.
you.
Like even if they're in a certain breed, they're like way more unique than like so many than like all the other cats.
right? Yeah, I mean like, I recently learned about Munchkin cats, which are basically just corgis, but they're cats. And oh my
Hold
goodness,
on,
they are
I'm
so
looking
cute.
this up.
Why?
Like, why? Because they're cats and they have like short legs and the long bodies. They're so cute.
Oh my god, I just found it.
Mm-hmm.
They're cute. Wow, that's funny.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They look like Garfield character, like that one from the thing. They look fake.
Okay then. Katie Cake, would you like to change the subject?
Not really.
Wait, did I make you guys
this
leave the game?
Like if I
Okay.
had a wild cat, I would definitely want a Bengal cat, where it's
Oh
like
yeah.
the Bengal cat. It's not
Yes.
too big, not too small, and they seem like less likely to like go, vicious.
Well,
on
there's things like cheetahs, right?
Yeah.
Cheetahs actually don't do that. Even when you run out of food, they will, like, they just try to find their own food. Like, they
Oh.
are actually really loyal.
you. Mm-hmm.
And they're basically like, and it's crazy because they're wild animals, but cheetahs are like so chill.
Yeah.
Guess I better get a cheetah.
Yeah, cheetahs are also small enough that you could fight them off if they did attack you.
What, cheetahs?
Mm-hmm. Like
Yes.
they like, cause like if they jump on you, you just throat punch them, and like, you know, you got it.
I guess. I really would think they would probably take you down.
They really are smaller than people think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, like cheetahs have been like domesticated like since the beginning of like people like living with animals because they are so useful for hunting. Because so people would just send them out and they would kill stuff and bring it back to people because you know they're like cats. You know, they basically it's just like gotta take care of my pets, gotta get them this food, you know, and then so yeah, like cheetahs are like unique, like when it comes to like big, like wild cats. And then there's like Bengal cats too. Like Bengal cats are weird because they're like less friendly than cheetahs. But
What? Really?
yeah, it depends on the cat, of course. There's unfriendly cheetahs and friendly Bengal cats, but like Bengal cats are much more like get away from me. I don't care about you than like cheetahs.
Hmm.
Also,
Oh.
if you do have a cat, you're not supposed to let it out because they actually like will like kind of stop caring about you, and they'll be like into the wild, they meet some cats. You know, they're like gray. Their names are like Gray Paw and like Lionheart and stuff, and like. You know,
Oh,
and then eventually one day they're just gone, and then you start
They
reading
go
these books
hunting
and
with
like
Star Clan.
yeah.
I think the cats that I would like is either tiger
Wait, what
or
are
a
those called?
caracol.
What are those?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like cat
over a
wise.
dog.
Like
Yeah.
obviously cat wise, I would want like American Shorthair is my favorite breed, but like if it was like a wild cat, I would want like either like an ocelot or like a golden striped cat.
Mhm.
Me, I don't really care which cat I'd get.
Yeah, I was like talking to like because we can't have a cat because my dad's allergic, and my mom doesn't like cats. Like she really does not like cats. And I was like, we got to get a Persian. They're hypoallergenic. We got to get a Persian. Come on, guys, let's get a Persian.
Or you get one of the cats that they have no hair whatsoever. I forget
yeah,
they're
the
called.
Sphinx cats.
The Sphinx.
Please
Just get a
don't.
Sphinx cat.
No.
I still think they're cute. Like they're kind of
They're
creepy,
so
but they're
ugly.
cute.
They're like an inverted cat.
I feel like they're cute in the sense that like chihuahuas are cute.
They're cute in the sense like if Satan had a pet, that would be it.
You know, I don't think that's like wrong.
Yeah, I just want to.
llama.
I wanted to say something real quick. You better watch it, because you better watch your sleep at night. I might jump scare you when you wake up because I kind of look creepy.
Right. Well, I mean, like, I don't think they look like. Yeah, they look kind of like off-putting, but like to me, I still think they're cute. But I think like literally every animal is cute. So.
Hey, look what I got.
Oh.
I
nice.
think they're evil because I watched Adventure Buddy.
I mean, look at Lord Beerus. He's like a. I forget their breed again.
The
Off that
Sphinx
character.
cat.
Yeah, he's a Sphinx cat.
Mm.
Kind of a villain. He's like a Lord of Destruction. Like,
Poor Sphinx cats. They just want to be loved, but everyone thinks they look too ugly or creepy.
it's kind of like a pug. Like they're cute because they're so ugly.
Yeah.
But
Man,
I
pugs
prefer
are
more of a
so
pug.
sad. Like, actually though, people are like starting to breed like classic pugs, where it's like they can actually breathe correctly and they don't die after 5 years.
Jeez.
Like that's good. Like, pugs are so sad. And then like English bulldogs too, where it's like they have such a short lifespan because they're like so unhealthy.
Hmm.
Oh my god, but no, wait, hold on. Best thing are the best dog, right? Are the dogs that are mixed with foxes and they're like literally foxes but they act like dogs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that is my dream dog.
Yes. Well, is it a fox or is it a dog? You know, I don't know.
I think they're
Who
still
cares?
technically considered foxes, but they just like act like dogs.
Yeah.
I think of it this way: if you breed a wolf with a dog, what is it?
It's a wolf dog. Actually, it's a natural breed.
Yeah, it's called a wolf dog.
Yeah,
So it's a fox dog.
Actually, aren't they called Malamutes?
I'm not sure. I've always just called them wolf dogs.
I mean,
Or
I
heard
think
of
it.
wolf
I think
dogs.
it means I don't know. Malamutes might be something different, but I'm pretty sure Malamutes is what you get when you cross a husky with a wolf.
No. Like kind of saying. I think the same process applies here.
Oh yeah.
But when you do
Fox
get a
dog.
wolf dog, I mean, you still have to treat it like a wild animal either way because it's such a big animal. The way it's built, it's made for it to be outside. Like its claws can like pretty much kill your whole house and knock everything
Yeah,
over.
they
There's
are
no way.
huge.
No way
I
keep it
saw
inside.
like these people, right, and they were like rescuing these Malamutes, and
Yeah.
like they were like like the dogs were so happy to be like released and stuff from like these little cages.
Yeah.
And they were like running up and they were like they were hugging the dogs, right? And like the dogs were like basically like the size of people. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They were massive,
So like direwolves.
basically.
Mm,
I mean, they're not, obviously not that tall, but they come up to like, stomach to like chest height.
Wow.
And
Like these things are massive.
Like, are they bigger than a Great Dane or
I'm not sure, because I don't know how big a Great Dane actually is.
pretty big?
yeah, I really think they should stop making zoos and putting like these animals in like small cages. Like you want to see, the animal spirit like happy and how they live their life, not in this small little
Yeah,
box.
I think there's some animals.
I think do that anyway. It's
Like, why
just
not
that
see
some
it?
dudes don't.
Well, no, I think some animals are actually better off in zoos, like pandas, you know?
Yeah,
And-
because they can't really fight their way.
Well,
Wow.
pandas are literally like the dumbest creature on earth. Like they should have gone extinct. But but like some animals are like happy living in zoos and like captivity, and like they have better lives in captivity, right?
Mm.
But like but other animals, like, yeah, we should leave them out of zoos, like, definitely.
Like you can just make like an expedition to go in this reserve park where you drive around people and these in these boxes.
Well, isn't that basically like out of Africa, where they literally
Yes,
just have like
exactly.
a plot of land and you just drive around and see all the animals? Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That way they have this huge land they can live off of. All we have to do is drive up to them and then,
Right.
just kind of
And
stay
it's
your distance and just watch them and talk
It's
about
like an artificial ecosystem.
Yeah.
it. Or it could be kind of like, yeah. I was going to say we can make these like little tube things where you can kind of walk through, but then that's just completely destroying the concept, and then you cause other problems with the earth, and it's like, okay, never mind.
I think, like, yeah, like, also, I think, like, the biggest problem, like, when it comes to animals is, like, breeding. Because people will, like, are, like, just trying to make, like, morphs and breeds, and they end up selling them and stuff, but they have so many health problems, like pugs and
Yeah.
English bulldogs.
Yeah.
And, like, even, like, literally, this happens with every animal, like boas, like, there are, all these different like different breeds of boas that people make, and they have horrible like health problems, and they like can't even like climb or move, but they look cool. And then there's like fish, where they'll take fish and then they'll like give them like fins that are too big for their bodies, or
Yeah.
they'll like, it's just like all these things there. It's just like so sad.
They need to leave it alone.
I know, right? Like the animals are beautiful like as they are. Like, stop trying to change them.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'll change the subject now. So in August, or I think it was September, Flex's deal with Disney to like give them movies and stuff will end. This will go up.
Wait, who's giving who what?
Long ago, Netflix signed a contract deal with Disney.
That,
yeah, and that means no more Disney movies at all will go to Netflix.
Ooh.
Well, unless they re-up, like, they, you know,
Yeah. Make a new
refresh the
deal.
contract.
I have no plans on refreshing the contract.
Oh, well. I mean,
Well-
won't get to watch, like, all those Disney movies on there, which is sad, but, like, that's, like, not really what I mostly watch on Netflix anyways.
Yeah, I usually watch mostly like Netflix originals.
Yeah, me too. Like, literally, like, my list is majority just, like, Netflix originals.
And that's kind of the big reason why they're making the original content, because they'll be facing some actual competition now.
Like, they still have all those other shows, though, you know, like, Disney isn't, like,
Yeah.
at literally everything.
I know, and I mean it's kind of sad that they're going, but yeah, I don't really
Hulu
watch
is owned by
Disney stuff on
Disney,
there.
though, right?
Who owns Disney?
No, Hulu is owned by Disney, right?
That is.
Well, I mean, then won't Disney stuff still be on Hulu?
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
I
there
think-
R-rated stuff, anyways.
Yeah, but I
Disney.
mean, they still have it. Hulu isn't literally just R-rated stuff. Like, there's like still, like, you know,
Yeah, they've
Disney
got
movies on
cartoon
there.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just really good stuff.
But anyway, the point being is, I don't know how this will like shift, like how we view media and
Why
stuff
would
like
it
that.
change how we view media?
This big company is doing that. That means a bunch of other companies are going to replicate it, like Warner Brothers and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody abandons Netflix, which is just a giant, giant company, which, you know, is really profitable for everyone, yeah, sure, but, like, do they really think, like, they can flood the market and still make a profit off of their stuff? Like, if you just increase competition so much that nobody's getting anything, then everything sucks for everybody, you know?
So what it comes down to, I think there'll just be like three that are surviving because Warner Brothers is actually doing their own streaming service, which I think is kind of stupid.
Yeah. Everybody doing their own streaming service these days. Back in my day, we had Netflix, and that was it.
I mean, Netflix is getting some good live action shows. I think they might be good, which is Avatar: Last Airbender and The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to bed in Minecraft.
Okay. Like all I wanted to talk about. So, Assassin, you do the next subject matter.
The next subject matter. Aliens.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what's the subject matter?
aliens.
Alien.
Ooh, I've got a lot to say.
Okay.
Okay. Are you going to talk about it or just let the room go first?
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think aliens are real, or do you think they're not real?
Well,
Hell yeah,
first
they're
of all,
real.
like, they have to be real. Like,
Yeah, there's no way.
There's something like, we know there's like 800 octillion galaxies, and each one of those galaxies has a bunch of planets. There has to be, like,
Yeah, there's
something
no way we're
alive.
the anomaly of like life. There's no. It's
Yeah. It's like, yeah. And then,
I personally think there might be a plant life out there, but don't know.
well, intelligent life is like, we have no way of knowing. It could be literally bacteria, or it could be like things as smart as humans. But like,
or smarter. Like
yeah. But the conspiracy, right, is like the Minister of Defense in Canada said that aliens were like here on Earth, and they were like,
Yeah.
they were hiding, and that they were like working with the American government. Right?
What the heck?
yeah,
But
no,
they're-
he actually said that.
He said that, and no, here's the thing, right? He said that they were like the tall whites, and like he described like what they look like and crap, and it's the same description that everybody gives when they're abducted by aliens.
Yeah, that's what's like got me convinced.
Would they be like,
I don't know.
They're
So
also
they're
called
like-
the Greys.
Yeah, because they're like they're tall, they're gray, they have like big eyes and like slender figure, and they like have big heads and stuff. They walk on two legs and stuff. And they're really tall and whatnot, and it's like it's really cool to think about. And
Yeah.
oh man, what was I gonna say?
This is gonna be our longest episode ever.
Yeah. Who cares?
I
But
believe in aliens, but I think they're interdimensional. I don't think they're other planets.
Yeah, wait. Why
What?
interdimensional and not other planets?
Because, okay, there's this story where if you take a certain drug, you can like enter into like another like dimension type
You
thing.
mean like DMT?
Yes,
Yeah, like
exactly.
DNT or like
Exactly.
shrooms and stuff.
That's exactly the drug,
Morphine.
DMT. And so in San Francisco, there's these group of men that got together, and they all took DMT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so they saw these gray things come out of the forest. And normally, when you hallucinate on a drug, you all see separate things, right? Well,
Right.
all of these men saw the same exact thing, right? And
Yeah.
so they saw these grays coming out of the woods, and they talked to them. And so they think DMT is like it helps you enter into another dimension. And so
So like for me, like if DMT isn't like, I don't know, just like stuff that like makes your subconscious like go wild and makes all this stuff, right? Like most like psychedelics. I think like if you're actually seeing something that's there, I think it'd make most sense if you're like seeing spirits, right?
Yeah, that's what I think too. And like these guys could have been also talking about it beforehand, and like that's why they had the same trip. Because that happens a lot. People trip out. Like I've had my share of like um, weed and stuff. You know, school, blah blah blah. Everybody tries stuff, and like you'll trip out the exact same way as your friend if you and your friend are talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
It's like all subconscious, you know.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But still, it could be like that because
Yeah,
there
that'd be
are-
really cool.
There are a lot of people who think that like a lot of the psychedelics are like actually like some sort of like biotechnology
Yeah,
to like travel to like different places.
or like see what's actually real and like different things like that.
so
So,
we can't not talk about aliens without talking about Area 51.
Yes.
What do you
Yeah,
what do you
okay.
guys think is going on over there?
Well, we're gonna find out when those 250,000 people storm it.
Speed 250,001. I'm going with them.
Yeah, it's like, I actually hope like that people actually follow through and they actually storm Area 51 and find out what's in there. Like,
Yeah, there's no way
honestly,
they can kill 250,000 people.
yeah, they can't. It's like they can't kill us all, and then they just all run in. But like, I think though, sadly, while Area 51 is cool, I don't think there's aliens there because when you because I watched like a documentary about it where they interviewed a bunch of people who actually did see what crashed and what was taken away and what happened, right? And when you like look into it, the most likely thing is it was a secret thing that was being worked on by the government because it was literally like it was like a ship, right? Which it was like kind of like a crazy satellite thing no one had ever seen, and they basically took it away and then denied it ever happened, and that's basically what happened. And it's like, yeah, that could have been aliens, but it's way more likely that it was probably a death laser that the government had and didn't want anyone to know they had.
Yeah.
Because we have death lasers now up in like outer space. We could literally like completely torch a country, but like that could have been that, you know, and then it fell out of orbit. Because if you're the first one with a death laser, you probably don't want other people to know about your death laser.
Yeah, exactly.
but how do you know if the aliens are extinct?
Extinct?
You know, gone extinct.
We don't.
We don't.
So,
we don't know if they exist. Well, I mean, we know, like, I feel like we have to know that there's got to be some sort of other life out there.
Right, yeah, like, why, it makes no sense that we would be the only thing alive.
Yeah, that doesn't, conclude,
Doesn't, yeah, make any sense.
Like, because there's, like, isn't there, like, a bunch of other, planets that are, like, similar to Earth?
Yeah, there's actually planets where it's like,
It has water.
they have tons of fresh water and like oceans and like all this stuff, right? And it's like
Yeah.
if literally there's planets where we could go there and just live there because they're like completely inhabitable. So like why not? Like life could totally be there.
That'd
Yeah.
be interesting going to a different planet
Yeah.
and just living
Yeah, I
there.
mean, I learned that when you combine dirt and water, there can be an ecosystem because I know in my science class we did sort of like an experiment like that. So there might be that possibility.
Well, when you look at Earth, anywhere there's water, there's life, right? So
Yeah.
if you look at like these places where there should like logically be no way to live, as long as there's water, something's living there.
Yeah, water's, like, the main resource that you need to survive.
Hmm.
Besides food.
Well, yeah, but you could get food like from other things that are alive, or you could get it from the sun, or you could get it like from
Yeah.
heat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot
You
of
guys
options for
ever
food.
watch Terra Nova, the TV show?
No, I haven't.
It's where Earth has gotten so bad with pollution and everything, it's overpopulated,
Hmm.
and so scientists have discovered like time travel, and so they travel back in time to
Oh,
before the
yeah.
dinosaurs went extinct.
I watched that.
Oh, that'd be cool. I haven't seen that. That'd be cool to watch it.
It's pretty cool.
Hmm. Honestly, like, if I would love to be able to like go back in time to just see what like life was like during like Jurassic and like Triassic periods.
Yeah.
If you can go to any timeline and you meet someone, where would it be?
Ooh. Hmm.
Middle Ages.
Well, who would you meet?
Henry VIII to be more specific.
Do you want to meet that guy? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
Try not to
interested-
die.
No, I'm
Good
just
luck.
interested in what he's like.
Yeah, honestly, like, personally, I think I'd want to go to, like, what was it called? The tennis court of the French Revolution. Like, I think that would have been cool. Like, seeing, like, the Jacobins and, like, the conservatives and them, and then, like, the rich and the nobles, and right there, like, they united to take down, like, the king and stuff. Like, that would have been really something really cool to be a part of.
Mm. Yeah, that would.
I would probably like to go where Disneyland first opened and Walt Disney is giving his first speech out to the crowd.
Uh,
I don't know. I thought that'd be kind of cool.
yeah, it is. I kind of want to change my answer because, like, I want to see something that's just, like, amazing. Like,
Or see a nation become,
yeah.
one.
Like, I don't know. Maybe, like, when Athens and Sparta were at war. See something like that.
Well, you're stuck in that timeline, so you still gotta not die, right?
Oh, wait, you are? Because if that's the case...
What? Stuck? I
No,
thought
you're
you
not
just
stuck. You're
Not
just...
stuck,
You're,
but, like,
it's just, like, you're just there for one event, right?
yeah,
For
but
one day.
aren't you there? Yeah, one day, but you can still die in a day.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't go to something called the Bloody Revolution.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, that doesn't sound too good.
uh...
All right. Well, here's a question: do you guys think that time travel already exists?
No.
No.
Straight up, like, you
Not,
can't...
not
Have you been
yet,
to it?
anyway.
You can't travel backwards in times, at least. You can
Yeah.
pseudo
Have you looked
travel
into it though?
forward. Yeah, I have. And you can't go faster than light.
Have you seen some of the YouTube videos of like photos of
Yeah,
people out
I
of
know,
time?
like those planets that are moving so fast, like around, it's either like at or around like the speed of light because they're literally like at the edge of the universe and like time is like super distorted. So like yeah, with like some crazy like if you go to maybe the end of the literal universe that's constantly expanding and like you find some way to survive and live and go fast enough, you could time travel like forwards, but we have no reason to think you could time travel backwards.
No, I'm talking about the photos taken here on Earth. Where
Are
they
you
think
talking about the
people,
like the ones with the lady holding the phone and it's like
Oh. Oh,
1943?
do you know? Yes,
right?
like that one guy who seemed to. Okay, so I can't remember his name or like even who he was really, but there was this nobleman who was basically like uh said how he lived, right? If you look at the documents, he lived for like over 100 years and he was like somehow like he's a surgeon, he's also a botanist, he's also like a he's like he somehow had like he like just knew everything, like he knew so much, like it's like you couldn't even possibly know that much if you spent your entire lifetime just like learning. And it's like literally it's like he's a time traveler because like the only way you could possibly know all that is if like you went to the future, learned it, and came back.
Yeah.
That guy's crazy.
Have you ever heard of people going through like portals and they end up at another part of a country or a state?
Yeah.
That's called weed.
It's called what? Weed?
Yeah.
Like
That's what we
somebody's
call
driving on and they're like so many hundred miles away from their destination and they like jump in time where they find themselves like so many hundred miles like almost to their destination and time hasn't really gone by at all but they've like somehow jumped like teleported. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard of that?
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Right.
There could be theoretical wormholes that may do that, but I'm not sure.
Well, like if you yeah, that's like obviously a thing. If you could bend like the fabric of space-time, you could teleport. But
Yeah.
but like how do you do that? Nobody knows.
We.
But yeah, also time perception is something that can change.
Yeah.
Like if you think like that you could like actually spend actually I did this, it was like a psychological trick where you could basically fast forward time if you make yourself bored and tired enough and you stare at a clock, like all of a sudden the minute hand and the will start going as fast as the second hand, and like the hour hand goes as fast as the minute hand, and it literally looks like the clock is just going spinning, like going way forward in time. Like I did that one time. I went forward like a straight hour. It's like it's basically you mess with your time perception enough and you'll trick yourself into thinking that like everything is moving super fast.
Yeah.
You can also do the same thing to slow down time. So if you're in a situation where your adrenaline is rushing, if you get up to like 195 beats per minute, you can like slow down time to the point where you could see like you know, like all the individual snowflakes falling out of the clouds, or see like a bullet travel through the air, or like all these things, and like that happens to me a lot. Um, like
Yeah.
that's just because I'm so like anxious. You know, it's pretty easy for me to get my heart rate up that high. So timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly,
Yeah,
wibbly-wobbly,
like time's
timey-wimey
just
stuff.
kind of a like you can change your perception of
Yeah,
time
time
easily.
is really just like all about perception.
Like I got some friends and they like my friend she was talking about this one time when she got high. She sat on the floor in her garage for what she thought was a half an hour, but she was actually sitting on the floor for 7 hours straight. She was in the garage all night, and she thought she was there for only half an hour. So like
Yeah.
things really mess up your perception of time depending on like what it is, especially with like acid and things like such like that.
Yeah, and like even things like DMT, that's another thing that can happen is you will go on a trip and like the trip will literally feel like it lasts years and you'll have like years of like trip memories, but actually it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like
And the same thing happens with like alcohol as well. Like getting drunk, you'll like it'll you can teleport because you can have blackout moments.
mhm.
So you'll black out for that a little bit of time, and then you'll just boom back into reality, and then you'll like start. You'll have no idea what you did for those like 10 minutes you were out or those 5 minutes you were out, but you gain conscious again, and it's like something else like takes over while you're in those blackout moments because you do stuff in those moments, and like people who are sober will tell you what you did, and you will have like no idea that like you're like, oh wow, okay, like you're like, oh, I didn't even know I did that.
Yeah.
So
I think you can slow down your perception of time further. Like in the anime Sword Art Online, like Kirito signs up for this program and he's in this world and time is slowed down so much that one day can become like 6 months or something.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's an anime. Like, we don't
But
know how to actually do that, or if even
Yeah.
that's like a thing you can do, really. But it is so cool. Like the example I used, like seeing all the snowflakes fall out of clouds. That's something that actually happened to me, where time stopped for a second, and I could look at each snowflake, and I saw the design of like every snowflake, and it was so beautiful. It was like crazy, and what I felt
yeah,
like.
wait. Apparently Assassin has to go. Say bye.
All right, later, guys.
Okay, bye.
all right, see ya.
And I think that's the perfect time to end this podcast. So,
Mhm.
Kitty 8.
Bye.
This was Otter Woods.
Bye.
This is Cards Slinger.
See you later.
And this was our longest episode yet. So, have a good night and bye.